Having amazing terrain can absolutely transform your experience playing Warhammer 40k. Nobody wants to play on cardboard cutouts, broken pink hills, pieces of paper, when you have amazing 3D printed terrain from Terrainify at your disposal. This beautiful terrain comes fully built and painted in one of 22 different camo settings. You can also get it unpainted so you can make it your own hobby project, as well as just the printed STL files, so that way you can print them at home yourself. Terrainify has so many different kinds of boards. They have different themes for whatever kind of battle you could possibly want to create. We've used Terrainify in our games to play very functional, high-level competitive Warhammer. This terrain is both beautiful, fun to play with, and very user-friendly. Terrainify is on a mission to elevate the quality of terrain that people play with worldwide. If you want to play on better terrain, you can support them directly on Patreon for just $3 a month. So what are you waiting for? Head on over to Terrainify.com, use discount code ArtofWar25 for 25% off your order, and start creating the boards you've always wanted to play on.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another Hot Takes YouTube video with the Art of War. Welcome, everyone. We are here not on our usual day, but because it's time for a hot take.
The takes will be hot. The
Absolutely.
FAQ did not break before the guard did.
Absolutely.
And we're here to tell you all about it.
The planet broke before the balance team did. We're doing great, boys.
This is going to be an interesting one. Not because of what's the content of the FAQ, but because of what is not in the FAQ, I think is what most people say. But I will say that this FAQ is not a balanced slate.
Yeah.
This is not a balanced slate, guys. So,
Yep. I think everyone was expecting this to be a balanced slate. And I don't know if you remember, Adam, but like the last 4 FAQs that we've gotten for codexes
pretty mediocre.
have all been, hey, here's us fixing the rules, not trying to fix the codex.
Not trying to fix the codex. Exactly right. They're not going to
keep doing
rebalance
this.
the codex in this document. They're going to clarify
Yep.
the intent. And you could argue that the thing that is missing here, which we will get to, could have been a thing of clarified intent. But it could also be a piece of balance. So we will wait. If it's not here, that's because I believe it's coming in the next thing.
In the next thing. Whenever that may be, who could cross those fingers, buddy?
How many crosses can I get? I can get 3 crosses per hand. That's
Just
a lot.
100%
It's a lot,
crosses.
guys.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah, so really exciting stuff here because we are going to review what's in the Astra Militarum FAQ. Let's go ahead and get it out of the way because we all know what we're here for.
Yes.
You can control F. There is absolutely nothing related to Kasrkin.
Zero mention of Kasrkin.
Yeah.
in this
Or
document.
overcharged lies cells.
Or
So technically your Scions can do it too.
Funnily enough, there's nothing stratagem related in this document.
Yeah.
To what I can see, everything is either order or Wargear related. So yeah, no stratagems have been touched, which means that juicy bomb continues to be in full effect.
Yep, absolutely. So that means that we don't have any limits on Kasrkin. They still function exactly as they're printed. They're still able to do a lot of mortal wounds at a time into multiple targets. I think the multiple targets is the part that everyone expects to be what changes.
A max of 6 mortal wounds.
Yeah, just per activation. Call
per
it a day.
activation. That's it.
You know, there's plenty of 1 CP 6 mortal wound strats in the game at this point.
It is on brand. It is on value.
Yeah, you know, I don't really mind if that stays.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that a little bit deeper. Even though the internet has been in a tizzy about it, I don't think that you should look at this this document as indication that change isn't going to happen.
Correct.
It's just that this is not the document that they thought was appropriate to make that change in, or they weren't even considering it for this document. This is just, what rules questions did we find in this codex? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting to note that I assume there's some level of internal discourse between the FAQ team and the balance team.
Well, that makes sense.
Could be wrong, but I assume that to be the case. In which case, it would be that the rule is intended to be as powerful as it is, but that the balance team believes it is not what is right for the competitive level of the game, for the match play level of the game.
Yeah.
And so that is what I expect.
I think the rules function exactly how they were intended.
That is my
I really think that's exactly what they meant to say.
That is exactly. They want Kasrkin to be purchased and to be baller, to be strong and impactful on the battlefield.
Yeah, and then maybe they shouldn't.
And then in the match play game, we're like, it's a bit much, for a 100-point unit to just do 18 mortal wounds and then probably kill 3 units in addition.
Good. All right. Yeah, well, now let's
just as planned.
Just as planned. Well, now let's dive into what is in this FAQ, because there's plenty of good stuff in here.
There's plenty of
there's honestly
stuff.
Ignoring the obvious, like one thing that. Like what you wanted to get changed balance-wise. I'm actually very happy with a lot of the questions that got answered here. Like
to an extent.
Yeah,
I mean,
like a lot of my internal questions got answered.
That is true. Like when we get to it about Ursula Creed and how her orders work with the +1 strength buff. I've been wanting that to just be out in the world because the interpretation they placed there was the one that I believe to be true.
Yeah,
and it's happy that that's held true.
Well, it's actually different than that. We'll cover that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's worse for guard.
On my read, my reading was it was going to be the worst interpretation rather than the super. You can't juice up 3 squads. You get 2 squads. Yeah.
Of mortars?
Or mortars.
1.
That's right. Because you can't double bounce.
Yep. Double bounce.
So, but the first of these is for the Cadian shock troops, which is just clarifying that, like many of the new kits, the kit doesn't come with 2 plasma guns, so you can't put 2 plasma guns. It has to be 2 unique, different special weapons on that squad. Of course, in addition to that drum-fed auto gun, which I'm actually a big fan of.
I like the drum-fed auto gun. Yeah. So what this ends up meaning is that they did the exact same thing for the Death Corps Creed box.
Exactly right.
Where you can just take 1 of the same weapon per unit.
Yep.
And you can't take more. And there's 1 in the box, and that's just what they wanted to have.
And this has been coming down the line for about 18 months since the new Plague Marine kit. Pretty much came in and just said, one of you get what's in the box. What your data sheet gets is what is in the box. And I don't know if that's a cut for the horse or the horse before the cart, but that's the reality we live in now.
Yeah, and so the fact that this was inconsistent.
They just
needed to get changed because it's really because the bullet point was redundant. Because they could take 2 special weapons, but no more than 2 of them could be plasma guns. Don't worry, GW, I won't take 3 plasma guns on my 2 special weapons.
Yes, correct. Well done. The next one is an interesting one. The Valkyrie ability. I have not
skipped the plasma cannon.
Oh, sorry, apologies. I thought that was the Death Corps one. You go.
Yeah, it's each time you roll a hit roll of 1, you take a mortal wound after shooting with the weapon.
So you can't kill yourself before you shoot.
Yeah. It works exactly how you think.
Yeah, exactly right.
Cool. Next.
Fantastic.
All right, now hit me with the Valkyrie.
So the Valkyrie one, I'm not even sure what's actually changed here, rather than just clarifying that you can't charge with the model after it disembarks.
Oh no, that's not what this is.
Oh, good, because I honestly haven't looked twice at the Valkyrie because
no problem.
I've never heard of it.
You know the airborne rule that every single aircraft has?
Yeah.
They just didn't put it on the Valkyrie. So like for the last, no one has been doing it, but for the past 3 months, the Valkyrie could move 60 inches, declare a charge.
Ram its way into people like the old Helldrakes used to.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
And no one, and likewise, it could be charged no matter what. And everyone just kind of assumed it was supposed to act like a flyer, and everyone's been playing it like it's a flyer. And now they've said, oh yeah, we forgot an entire paragraph. It's a flyer.
Let's just put that in. It is in fact a flyer. It is not a
Don't even worry about
it. Tank.
It is just a flyer. Yeah, no, all this is adding a rule that makes it like that should have been there the whole time. We start to get a little more interesting. We're in the Aegis defense line, where it's just changed to an obstacle.
Yeah. So does that mean you just lost the data sheet just reads this is an obstacle now? Yeah. You may purchase an obstacle, or has it lost all its other traits?
No. It just changes the first sentence. So it used to be area terrain.
Yeah.
And now it's an obstacle.
Oh, that's fine. So it still gives the cover. It still gives the cover.
It still gives all the
baby transhuman. Yeah. Sorry, no, not transhuman. Armor contempt. That's good. I think they're possibly better now.
It's just now. Yeah. Basically, it means that if you're behind it, and you shoot through it, you still get it. But if you're in it and they can like walk around and see you somehow without going through it,
like a crate.
Yeah, it's basically functioning more like a trench than before. Yeah. It's just like a double-sided crate. It's just like a thin wall of crates.
Correct. So instead of starting from the baseline of area terrain line, you start from the baseline of an obstacle, and then add all the bits from.
And I think if you're just trying to put infantry into this thing, I think it's functioning 99% of the time, it's going to function exactly the same as before. What really just changes is that you can benefit from it if you're right behind it instead of in it.
Yeah.
And it's possible for your opponent to take it away with an extremely specific angle.
Okay.
But that's
good.
very. I mean, if you get into the trench and start shooting them, then they don't get it.
Yeah.
That's it. But honestly, if someone gets in the trench with you, so be it.
Yeah.
Fix bayonets.
We've got a bit of a debate going on. Is Kasrkin the most broken unit in the game right now? That's an interesting talking point. I mean, I say yes. I say for 100 points and what they can accomplish.
The points cost on them is pretty crazy.
It's been a long time since we've seen something that is that cheap, able to punch up so much. It's pretty wild.
it's them or Deathwing Terminators.
It really is. I was about to say they're the only two you could argue right now are the two best units in the game. So for 3 Deathwing Terminators, you get 10 Kasrkin because 33 each.
Yeah,
they come with literally no shooting.
It's probably Kasrkin.
I think it's Kasrkin. I think it is.
We'll see.
For what they offer, you can find things that are comparably durable to Deathwing Terminators, but you can't find the Kasrkin are the only thing that do what they do in the game.
Yeah, they're pretty unique at that.
Yeah.
Right on. So that's the Aegis defense line. Lol. And then the final update and errata here is to the Tempestus Scion Wargear option. And this doesn't really do anything. You can just now replace his hotshot las pistol with a bolt pistol or plasma pistol, which is what the kit has.
Yeah.
I think they just forgot to put that in there.
Yep.
That's it.
Easy.
Yep.
Done. Done.
Yep.
The debate continues in the chat. Go for it. Go nuts. I don't think there's a wrong answer. It's whatever you think.
Yeah, I think those are definitely the top 2 that I can think of right now.
They're the two. Yeah, forerunners for it.
Absolutely.
We're into the FAQ portion, so the answering of the questions. Which is the first one? Is this the mechanized? This is the disembarking.
Yep, this is the Chimera one.
So
I'm happy with this one.
This is better than I thought it was. I thought there was no way for a unit to do more orders than listed on the starter sheet. But this essentially, if you are in a Chimera, you kind of get one more. Yep. You get to do one order in the order phase, and then when you disembark, you do another one. If you only have one order on your data sheet, you've just doubled the orders you get to generate.
Yeah. You can always issue 1 in the Chimera. So even Creed in the Chimera issues 1. Then when you get out, you issue your full suite of orders.
Full complement,
so a Commissar literally doubles.
Correct.
A Commander just adds 1. A Creed just adds 1.
Yeah.
I think that this gives more play to the transports in the Chimera. I still really like those.
I love them.
Because it gives more like...
Mechanized is how I enjoy my guard.
Yeah.
I love mechanized guard. Love my mechanized infantry. And so this is just adding another cherry on top of that play, which I enjoy. Oh wait, is the Necron one of the...
or is it the Obelisk?
Did you let me know? Was it the Necron Obelisk? Kasrkin, Obelisk, practically the same thing.
Basically the same, yeah. I mean, well, I think the Monoliths win that fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. I think the Monolith would probably beat the Kasrkin. They can only take 6 portals, so
it's true.
Then they shoot back. Done.
Yeah, it's smashed.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
No, I think the Chimera buff here is super nice. This is how it was rules is written, and this is how I've personally been playing it. Although I haven't used a Chimera much, that hasn't been a huge deal. But what we're looking at is the rule for the Chimera says that you can issue an order in the command phase if you're inside, and if you get out of transport, you can then issue your orders as normal. And they've confirmed that means that the combination of 1 from the Chimera then getting out can take you over your limit. Yeah. So basically, what you said, just for anyone in the chat who maybe wasn't familiar with the rules interactions that prompted this question, in my mind, that gives Chimera just a little bit more play. And I like it when more non-damage options are an option in Guard. Because Guard do not struggle for damage options.
In all honesty, it is the first time I think I would consider now taking a platoon commander. I didn't consider taking a platoon commander at all.
You mean just the Cading officer?
Oh yeah, platoon is deleted.
Yeah, platoon commander doesn't
exist. It's just the regular officer. I've only been taking command squads and Lord Solar or Creed.
In my mind, this makes the Commissar better.
That is absolutely correct. That is absolutely true.
Because the Commissar literally doubles in value. And he's cheap, and he can just go inside.
Yeah.
And it's not like he ever has like an aura that you're like trying to benefit from.
Exactly
really.
Right.
And then the second part of this is that and this isn't the FAQ. This is just me musing on Guard. The best part of the transport is getting out and issuing an order in the movement phase after you've already benefited from orders in the command phase.
Exactly.
And potentially moved. And because the Commissar knows all of the advance and do X, advance and do Y orders, you get to a point where you can move a unit 12 inches, then have him get out, tell the unit to stop moving, but don't worry, you've already moved 12.
Yes.
Instead, you can advance in action.
Correct.
Or advance in shoot.
It is beautiful. Or you can move, get out the squad inside, and so you can get the unit out, order them. Sorry, order them is commanding phase.
Unless the second officer gets out.
Yeah, but you can refresh your Chimera. You can just keep refreshing your Chimera, like ordering people into it and out of it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, you can do a lot of cute tricks there.
Well, because you can order a unit to move, and then move the commander into the Chimera when you get a commander out of the Chimera to order again. Yeah. You can slingshot, double trick.
Yeah, if you have two officers
rotate.
cycling.
Exactly right. I was about to say you can cycle your officers through it and just keep doubling up.
100%.
I think that's really cool.
Yeah, two commissaries just hopping in.
Yeah,
now.
hopping in, hopping out.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. All right. Next question is related to Creed. This is an important one. This one's a big one, and I think it'll have ramifications for list building. So, if Creed issues an order to a unit and that order is replaced by another order, does the unit continue to receive any modifier to the strength characteristic from Creed's Lord Castellan's Fury? And the answer is no.
Correct.
So this does two things. The first is if you ordered a unit 3 times in a row, it does not get +3 strength. It never should have. That was never how it worked. People played it and ruled it that way. That is gone. That is very cleanly just removed as an option. I'm glad that's gone. I'm glad we don't have to talk about that anymore. But there's a second ramification here. Because what was very common was for Creed to sit in the mortar pit.
Sit with 3 units of mortars and bang, strength, off you go.
Yeah, because what you would do is you would tell one mortar unit to fix bayonets, and then you get +1 strength.
Correct.
Okay, weird thing to put on a mortar squad. Bear
Fair
with me.
enough.
Then you tell the next one to move, and then you get +1 strength. Okay, again, weird thing to do. They're not going to use that, but sure. Then you give the third one take aim, and they get +1 strength. And all 3 mortars have got plus strength, and then you splash take aim off of the last mortar into all the other mortars.
Replacing the former.
So they all have +1 strength, +1 to +1
and
to
take
hit.
aim. Yeah.
And that's gone now. That means that if you want your mortars getting +1 to hit, only one mortar team in the army can have +1 to hit and +1 strength at the same time.
Correct.
Only one.
I think this is
actually 2 if you do a transport trick.
Yeah.
Because
you can still have one at strength 6 and the others getting take aim, but they won't get the plus strength.
Yep.
Is this enough, do you believe, to take Creed out of lists?
100% yes.
Correct.
In my mind, Creed was already on the way out. I'd been playing with her, and I thought that she was never quite worth it.
Well, she is superseded in her role by Lord Solar. Lord Solar is just plain better. And when you look at how many points you're paying to have 2 in the same list, you're like, well, you have to have the finial as well. We realize the finial is more important than Creed, and Creed is the second rung of this. You're like, and now she doesn't have the rung. Yeah. So she is out of there, unfortunately. I'll be replacing her with a commissar or, like I said, a single company commander to go.
For me, it's the Death Corps Marshal is actually what killed her. Because the problem was that Creed was 80 points. Yep. And the only thing that did her role, because I do want one more officer besides Lord Solar.
Me too. I think you
need one more.
The flex officer.
I love the flex officer. And so without, and she was just so much better than Acadian commander for only 30 points. 30 points for an order and the +1 strength. Boop. Okay. But now the Death Corps Marshal has come out with the rules update. It is significantly cheaper than Creed. It's 35 points.
Dude.
That is a 45-point discount. That's a steal. So in my mind, it's now a Death Corps Marshal and Lord Solar. And then the Command Squad.
Yep. Yeah, for the finial.
There we go. So yeah, I think that is the end of Miss Creed. We've got 3 more questions to power through real quick. Can the Trophy Hunter's Doctrine be selected for the purpose of a Kasrkin unit or Veteran Commandeer upgrade?
You'll have to explain this to me. I didn't know this was a question. I have no idea what this is referring to.
So Trophy Hunters is +1 strength to all ranged weapons when you target a monster vehicle.
Yep. Where's the problem?
The question is that you can't take this. It's all consuming because when you go custom, you can only take one thing.
That's correct.
But what it says isn't that it takes at both your slots. It says you cannot select this if you have another doctrine in your army. And so you already have Born Soldiers.
Correct.
And so technically you couldn't, but it's like, okay, that's...
It's obviously your intent.
Intent is probably that you can.
Yeah.
They've confirmed intent. Now, you don't want this.
No.
So it doesn't matter.
Good. It's not one of the top 3s.
No.
And you can't take more than 3 Kasrkin units, so it's kind of a moot point. But I mean, there could be a really specific meta...
Where you want...
one day around the corner for a specific anti-monster,
Or it's honestly more appealing on a tank. If you ever get to a point where you need a tank at +1 strength because of a specific breakpoint in the meta, that may be worth considering. I don't think it's worth it. But it's nice to know that the options
If you're playing in teams and you want to scare in the mirror match, maybe.
Yeah, make like, oh yeah, my Plasmacution is strength 9.
My Gatekeeper tank commander is more better than your Gatekeeper tank commander. I can't take it anyway, but yeah, whatever.
Yep.
Pretty easy, pretty clean.
Real quick, we've got a super chat from Black Onion. Whatever happened to pros and cons, Black Onion? Always good to have you support. Always good to have you in the chat. Unfortunately, we're just not running pros and cons anymore. We've slightly trimmed down the amount of content that we make to try and make higher quality content. So that content piece is gone. But if everyone's clamoring for it, it's always possible we could bring something like that back. We always like chitting and chatting.
If that's something you guys want, Idle War listens.
Yeah,
for sure.
So we always take notes on what people request. So Zlak Onion, it sounds like you miss it. Good thing for us to keep in mind. And if we get a lot of that feedback, maybe we'll try to incorporate that into our future plans.
I mean, I need a show.
Never know.
Let's go.
There you go. And we've got another super chat here. This one is from Andrew Votter. Thank you so much for the support. Really, really appreciate you, Andrew. A buddy of mine had a question, and I don't know the answer. Do units off the table break in flexible command? I know it's fixed in Nephilim, but I didn't see a fix in Arcs. So it has not been fixed in Arcs. My interpretation here is that a unit not on the table does not count as breaking your inflexible command. Same thing in my mind for units in a transport. If it's not on the table.
Can you explain
the problem?
The problem to people?
Absolutely. So the problem here is that inflexible command says if every infantry unit in your army is within X range of an officer, you score 2 points. Correct. If every vehicle in your army, and I think technically these platoon, squadron, these are the right keywords, but basically if every vehicle is in range of an officer, you get 1 point. If every infantry is in X range of an officer, you get 2 points. And in Nephilim, they had very similar wording on flexible command, and they put an FAQ in saying, hey, units that weren't on the table when you check the score don't count. Same for transport, same for reserves. Don't worry about those. Just check everyone whose boots are on the ground. So and in Arcs, they reprinted the secondary but removed the FAQ.
So the assumption is that it continues. The assumption is that you have clearly stated the intent. And this is how I would rule it if I was the TO of such an event. The intent. There's a precedent by GW. The intent is for them to not count. And because of that, well, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that's exactly how it should be played. Otherwise, you get to the really awkward point where do dead units count? As soon as we're counting units not on the table, do I zero your secondary out the second I kill a sentinel?
Exactly. You get down a really stupid rabbit hole. So I say nip it in the butt. GW has set a precedent that they obviously have just forgotten because the FAQ has not been updated as of this point. So wait and see. But I honestly think it should be ruled that they don't. They don't stop it.
100%. All right, and we've got one more super chat here. This one is from Macelia Delt. Not even a question. We appreciate your super chat.
Thank you.
Super glad they updated the Imperial Armor Compendium. Got my 9 Earthshakers and the Marshal laughing with my indirect fire. Feels good, man. You know what? I like it. I love it. I have to. I've got to build my artillery up. I've got 3 Earthshaker platforms. Just kind of chilling.
How many Death Strikes have you got?
0. Yeah,
that's a shame.
That is an order that has been placed.
that needs to be rectified immediately. Anyway, back to the questions. So what's up next? We have the field promotion strat. So obviously when your warlord dies, you can use a field promotion to get a new warlord trait on another officer. It cannot. It's been rectified to say cannot be the warlord, the same warlord trait as the guy who just died. Essentially, as the HQ that just died. Pretty, I mean, it was pretty ambiguous before. I always assumed that was the case. It has to be a new one, not listed on your list.
That seems like a reasonable interpretation. Yeah. So unfortunate, but not too big a deal. Often you're taking Leontis.
Exactly right.
And so then it's just a question of what warlord trait do you want to sub in. In my mind, the best one to sub in is just the give an extra order. Exactly. So I think what I'll just do is if I ever lose Leontis, I'll make sure that my command squad suddenly can issue Perfectus orders so that I have the option to do that. Spot on.
That's exactly what I was about to say. All it does is just mean that your second tier play, it should be locked in.
Yeah.
Should actually be
just make sure that
also, if your Lord Solar's getting deaded,
you're messing up.
Things aren't going great.
Lord Solar's not really a frontline commander.
No, he's not. Despite that's why he's so squeaky clean. You can tell. You look at him like, that guy's not out front.
Yeah.
That guy's way in the back.
That guy did not eat his breakfast at the barracks in the dining hall. That man had a steak delivered to him on Cadia from Catachan. No problem.
Absolutely right. He had ice off-world brought in to chill his martini.
Yeah, this man does not eat corpse starch with his corpse flakes in the morning.
Has never tasted such.
No, not even once.
2 people. So what is this?
Snail Spot Gaming Studios. Welcome to the War Room Gold. We really appreciate your support.
Fate Twister.
This is Sanacht, the Fate Twister.
The Fate Twister. Is he some kind of herald or demon prince?
Something of Tzeentch for sure.
Absolutely.
Sanacht, you have to tell us where your place is in the Tzeentch Pantheon because I'm curious and we love you. Not guard related, but any suggestions on how to make Gaunt spam Tyranids work? Well, Sanacht, I'll tell you that I had, checks notes, 75 Gaunts on the table in a War Room game that I played on Tuesday. Just 2 days ago.
Yeah.
I guess we released it yesterday. So if you head over to the War Room, you can check that out. I would really recommend checking that game out.
It was a great game.
Fleet Behemoth into Nick's Nurgle concoction. I think that Gaunt spam can still be really good. I think that it's all about the Turvagon and the Gaunts.
I agree.
That's been the consistent moneymaker
yet. It's that management. It's treating that package like it's 20 Necron Warriors with a Ghost Arc, essentially.
Exactly.
And playing that to great effect will give you a huge amount of leeway. But you can have multiple tendrils from that Turvagon and see which one they hit, which one you get.
Absolutely. I kind of like the idea of just having, like, at this point, I think I want to go to 60 Termagants.
I think 60 is
with one Turvagon is where I think it's going to end.
I like that a lot. So how many Hormuz did you take?
I had 30 Hormagants in that game.
Did you like them?
I like in. I like them. I don't love them.
I like the speed, but they can't kill a damn thing. Their only purpose is to nuke turn 2 primary, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, they've been very useful for speed, getting bodies, contesting objectives. Most armies they struggle in kill power, no matter how many buffs you layer on them. I've tried them in Gorgon. I've tried them in Behemoth, and both times I came to the conclusion of this is pretty good at killing Eldar.
Yes.
Yes. That's where it's.
That's Eldar making them feel good rather than
Eldar makes them feel good.
Yeah. Is that Mika McComb?
Yeah, Mika McComb with the $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Have I tried Rough Riders yet? They're super versatile. So I have played Rough Riders a couple of times. Right when the Codex came out, I proxied them with some Death Riders.
I played against
them. I can tell you that I like them enough that I have already built 5 of the new plastic ones, and I've ordered 5 more of the new plastic ones. I have not tried them on the table recently with my latest builds. But I do want to include either Rough Riders or Bulgrin in my next concept. Yeah. And then I'll probably try the other one in the concept after that. And then the third concept will be going back to whichever one works.
I think that the meta right now, they are necessary. I don't think they are mandatory, but I believe that they're necessary as the meta adjusts more and more for things like Votann, things like Guard, things like Tau. You're going to need some counter assault. You're going to need to dig yourself out. And Lord Solar, like we said, cannot be used for these jobs because he cops a fight on death, he gets exposed by any sorts of things. So I think they're necessary, not mandatory. I like 2x5.
Yeah,
2x5 is the number I like.
2x5 is what I want. The biggest problem that I'm having is the fast attack slots because I want to take my max
sentinels
heavies and I cannot give up those sentinels. Just cannot do it. So we'll see how it works out. I love the Rough Rider models, by the way. If anyone hasn't gotten the kit, I am super thrilled with the physical model for the Rough Riders.
The heavy support might get Mortars might go now without Ursula. So the heavy support might get freed up.
Adam, you're burning me with your hot takes here.
I know
that's too spicy for me.
I know the Mortars might not make every list now.
Incredible! Can't even consider it. All right, we have one more question here, and this is: if I use the field promotion stratagem to select the Old Grudges Warlord trait, am I able to select an enemy unit for the purpose of the Old Grudges ability? And the answer is no. So,
unfortunate.
Yeah, so you can't pick Old Grudges effectively at the...
See, I liked this. In fact, in the 2 games I've had with Guard, I've used this once to readjust, and I by the terms of this, what I did then was illegal. Because I like, cool, your strongest unit comes out, awesome, nukes a bunch of my stuff, kills my Warlord because something bad's happening. Old Grudges, readjust, nuke the unit, reestablish some balance of board state. Turns out not to be.
Yep, just not quite to be. Unfortunate, but I think it's just it's how I expected it to work because
it's fair.
It's fair. I hadn't tried to use this yet because the wording didn't quite work rules as written, so I was waiting for them to FAQ in favor of it. Instead, they chose not to do that, and now I will continue to wait until the next book.
Correct.
But that's okay because I like this book a lot.
So, how do you feel about this FAQ?
Overall, slight nerf to Creed. I think takes her out of my list the way that she was already going. Slight buff to Chimeras confirms how I was already playing them. Makes me very happy. In my mind, we're still waiting on the Kasrkin change to happen. But the way that the meta is going and the way this FAQ is going, it makes me want more tricks, which is a little bit more melee, a little bit more transport, and a little bit less damage as a result, but still being a high damage army.
Yeah.
And that's genuinely still how I want this to get played.
Agreed. I think it's It doesn't hit the big thing that I think needs to be adjusted. But like I said, I wouldn't be surprised. It's quite reasonable for that to be left for a balanced starter slate.
Yep.
So this is an FAQ, not a balanced starter slate. Balanced starter slate, we're what, 1 month off?
Probably.
Probably.
The assumption is that we're going to get it sometime in like April, because that's usually when they do it. They usually do this after Adepticon.
Yeah, correct.
Adepticon is, I think, the last full weekend of March.
They want to take the Adepticon data and use it.
And so I'm guessing this could be April 1st. It could be April 29th.
April 1st would be funny.
April 1st would be funny. April 1st is the one where Kasrkin can do 7 wounds per target. Just 7 wounds per target instead of 6.
Yes.
April 2nd,
Yes.
they're like, oh yeah,
No,
we meant 6 total
6
per
total.
activation.
I agree. But I'm okay with this. It didn't hit the one I thought I wanted to have hit, but I'm okay with that if I had to wait a little bit longer on that. As for the rest of it, it's just easy clarifications. I think Cadian squads get a little bit worse, but they're still the best ones, undeniably.
Yeah.
Access to transhuman is just
It's come up.
bonkers.
I've
It has
every
come up,
time
dude.
time I have like a Acadian squad tank something like totally unreasonable, like, you know what, like just
Dude.
almost never kills
I've had, like-
Acadian squad.
Yeah, I've had like
2 8-bound. Just
bounce.
doesn't kill 2.
Well, I had a squad of Grav devs go into
Oh.
6. 6. Only 6.
Only
And I had
6.
2 left, baby. 2. Auto passed. 8 point swing. It was
Beautiful.
The spice.
That's spicy.
Cherry
Spicy
ripe.
goodness right there.
Yeah. Zach from
Sad boy hours.
Sad Boy Hours. Hey John, just started GSC with a Broodlord Coven. What stuff should I pick up to get to 1,000 points, mate? What do you think?
So I think in a 1,000 point Ginster list, you still want to get some. You still want to get the staples. Neophytes and bikes, in my mind, are both very strong, very fun things to play with in a Ginster list. With that said, if you're starting a collection, I'm always in favor of getting a grab bag of just like a little bit of everything, just to see what you like the feel
One
of.
of the great things about GSC is that you only need one of all the characters. One
Yeah.
of the things I would love is to just get one of most of the characters. You don't need to get some of the obscure ones like the Sanctus or
Yeah. Yeah.
No, you want the Nexus. Is it the Clamavus who's also obscure, or the Clamavus is the good one, Nexus is the bad one? Either way,
They're actually both
They're
pretty
probably
decent,
both
yeah.
good. Who's the hooded guy with the bodyguard?
The Locust is
That's
the
the
one
one.
you don't
So,
necessarily need right
That's
now.
who I was thinking of. Him and the Sanctus. Get all the other ones.
Yeah.
But definitely Patriarch, Primus,
Yeah.
Icon Ward.
Bikes and Neophytes, though, for like actual units, because I think you can't go too character heavy at 1,000 points.
If you want to if you're building towards a competitive, absolutely go get some bikes. Absolutely start playing with Jackals now and start feeling and figuring out how to use that.
I think I would still take 2 units of Jackals at 1,000 points. They're so good.
I mean, not by 9, right? But you go 2x5s or 2x3s or whatever.
I was going to go 2x10.
Straight to the top,
Well,
Jack. Straight to the top. Let's
there you go.
Yeah, 2x10 with an Icon Ward. Let's never die. But no, I don't hate that idea.
Right on. Well, Zach, if you like this YouTube channel and you like Gene Star Cult, I would recommend you watch a game later today, because later today I'm going to be playing my Ultramarines, the Emperor Spears, into Jack on Gene Star Cult. So you should check that one out for more GSC content.
So that is the successor chapter, the Emperor Spears.
Indeed.
Yeah,
So that is actually the end of the FAQ.
that's it.
That's it. That's all
That's
she
right.
wrote. Yeah. So I think that's where we wrap it up, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate your support as always. Make sure you check out our YouTube game later today, and make sure you check out our website, theartofwar40k.com. It's where you can get access to the worms, where the wonderful coaches like myself, Jack, Richard, Nick, and many more are there to teach you everything you need to know about getting better at the game you love. As well, make sure you check out Art of War Down Under. Yeah, that's one of our wonderful podcasts. You can find it on Patreon. That is where you can hear this lovely man's dulcet tones.
Down under. I'm pulling you guys
All-
in. Come down under with me. Let's
Just
go.
what you put out episodes once a week, right?
Every week. Once
Every
a
week.
week.
There you go.
Tuesday mornings, 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time in the morning. This week, we're recording with Vic Vijay. We're doing
Ooh,
the
he's a good
Craftwell of the
guest.
Asuriani Codex Retrospective. We're leaving Harlequins for their own episode. It's going to be a good one. So if you have
There you
any
go.
questions for me as well, you can get into one of my Discords or the various Art of War Discords and find me there, or jump over to Patreon and get those spicy part 2s.
There you go. All right, give us a like, give us a subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Mwah.